Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites. How we doing today? We doing good? Hopefully we doing okay. Hopefully we are doing okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you, baby, for becoming a member. I gotta play it for you too.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
And thank you so very much, Miss Kanisha, for becoming a member. I appreciate all of the support.
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Okay. So I needed to talk about something because the video that I did, or should women be easily led? Somebody do me a favor and put the link, the ash kicking link in the chat for me, please. I got some really I got some really interesting responses. And there was one in particular that I wanted to address, and not in a combative way. It was an interesting post that I think needs to be addressed. It made some points that I believe need to be addressed by someone that has supported my channel for a good long time. So this is certainly not some type of attack or any type of combative or argumentative situation. But I need to do this because I need to. When I talk about how to submit, where submission actually comes from and how women are to actually do it respectfully to the men, I'm explaining that to the women. I'm actually not explaining that to y'all because y'all ain't never been a submissive wife. And you're never gonna be. That's not your position. You can only know how you want the submission, how you need the submission to feel. You know what you need it to do in a relationship with you, in a marriage with you, but you don't know how to do it. Not from a feminine point of view, you don't. You don't do it as a wife. We do. So when I talk about how to actually submit, what it looks like when the rubber meets the road, what it looks like on the ground, not idealistically, but what women have to actually do, because I've spent pretty much my entire adult life doing it. Okay? I'm 46. First time I got married, I was 20. Out of all of those years up until now, from 20 to 46, I've only spent about 5 of those single. Maybe 6. Might be 6. The rest of that has been as a married woman that was submissive to her husband. So I actually understand the mechanics of being submissive. And I'm explaining it to the women. Similarly, I'll point this out. Women can only say how they want leadership to feel, how they like masculinity to feel, but they can't tell men how to be masculine because they don't know. They can't tell men how to lead because they don't really know. They don't know how to lead from a masculine husband's point of view. They have no idea because they've never been men and they've never been a husband. So they don't know. They just know the effect that they want it to have and all of this type of stuff, but they don't know the mechanics. They don't know what men have to draw from in order to maintain his masculinity and maintain his leadership and create systems, order, and structure. Women don't know that. They don't know that. So if a man is explaining to other men, this is how you do that, this is how that is achieved, then the women can't come and say, no, I disagree. She can't disagree because she doesn't know the right answer anyway. And I'm not saying this disrespectfully at all. I'm just, we're have 2024 is the year of truth and accountability. It's also the year of balance. So we're going to be pointing out inconsistencies in rhetoric. This is why I say I don't do talking points. Inconsistencies in rhetoric and things of that nature. We just gonna be pointed out because it has to be done, right? It has to be done. We have to say what it is. So when I'm telling women, lionesses, that they have to think before they submit, I'm saying that because I know that for a fact. I'm telling them how to submit practically, not just saying, oh, you got to submit and then leave it like that. And then it's up for interpretation as to how that's actually achieved. Husbands do not know how that is achieved. They just want it done, which is fine. That's the way it's supposed to be. I don't know how my husband maintains his leadership. I just want it done. I don't know how he comes up with all of his systems and orders and structures. I just want it done. I don't know how he maintains all his masculinity. I just want it done. Right? It's not for me to go into the intricacies of that. I'm never going to be a man. I'm never going to be nobody's husband. That's not even my business. I know a few things about it, and that's it. Similarly, it ain't for him to be trying to figure out how I'm drawing to the submission, just so long as it get done. He just want it done. I mean, what you gotta go through internally to achieve it, that's not nothing. I mean, he ain't worried about that. Why would he be worried about that? Why is he concerning himself with that? He don't. He absolutely he does not. That's my concern. How I'm maintaining submission, how I maintain being underneath his leadership, how do I maintain being under his system, order, and structure? That's my business. I have to do that. That's my job. He just want it done. So when I come to explain that, I really be talking to the women. But I want to share something. Okay. I'm going to share something. This was a comment by a person, like I said, that has supported my channel for quite some time. I do recall his name is familiar to me, Miles. So I'm hoping that if he don't catch it live, he can catch the playback, because I'm going to answer his points. Thank you, Dilly, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate
But now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Thank you so much for the support. Okay. So, I don't want to leave anybody out. Ames, thank you so much, Ames, for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate
But
you.
now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Okay. So getting to Miles' comment, this is what he had to say. He says, so basically, all women's submission, lioness or hyena, correction, hyenas do not submit. But in any case, so basically, all women's submission is always conditional and always temporarily based on their discretion / state of mind. They choose who, when, why, and how they submit. And if their condition / price of submission is not met, they won't willingly submit. Logically, if a woman is always in charge of when and who she submits to, that means she is always leading herself, passively or actively. Because if she ever feels like she doesn't trust, like, or want to submit, she can stop being passive and reestablish leading herself actively again. Women seem to essentially treat men and their leadership like owners of self-driving cars treat their cars driving them. They already have an idea where they want to go and only submit to their car / man driving them there. However, if the car seems to veer off course or go down an unexpected route, they take back control of the wheel or get out of it, illustrating that they never really completely submit to being taken where they don't know, understand, or feel safe. Now we're going to stop right there before I read the rest of it. Everything is conditional. Everything. Everything has a condition to it. That's why I named it when women should submit without limit. Should women submit with no limit, no parameter, no boundary? I'm asking. Should women who are submissive be so without any parameter, boundary, or limit? Hmm? Thank you. No, because there's a limit and there is a boundary for everything. There is a limit and a boundary for everything, including submission, including men's leadership, including men's 4 Ps. There's a condition for that, is it not? No. We don't think men conditionally give they relationship status? Is the marriage rate high or low? Is the marriage rate high or low? It's low. Who is in charge of whether folks get married or not? Who dictates marriages and relationships? Who gatekeep that? Whose domain is that? Men or women? If men's leadership, his 4 P's, and his willingness to give a relationship was unconditional, why didn't the marriage rate stay high as the women became worse and worse? Why didn't it stay high? Why didn't men continue to marry women at the same rate that they were marrying them in the past, even as the condition of women degraded over time? Why? Because he got conditions. Because he got conditions to who he gonna give and how he gonna give this to any female. And whether or not he give it at all to any of them. Collectively, men decided that the condition of women was not good enough to maintain a high rate of marriage. Was his 4 P's not conditional? Was his 4 P's not conditional? It's conditional, ain't it? Because it's conditional whether or not he's going to get a female and put her underneath his 4 P's, his leadership. She got to meet conditions for that. She has to meet parameters for that. She has to prove herself worthy to receive it. She can't just walk up. Men have a word for other men that let women just walk up without proof of anything, without proof of her followership, and then just give her a relationship, just give her all 4 his P's. What's the word men call each other when they do that? Men got a word for that. We say it every day. What's his word for that? Thank you, Uton. Men call him a simp. Because why? He is not making the condition. He is not creating the condition whereby she has to prove that she's worthy for him to start giving her his 4 P's in the way that husbands give their wives their 4 P's. She got to prove that. She got to prove that. And if she don't do it and he give it anyway, he's a simp. He's a sucker. He a idiot. And men say they don't have no sympathy for what he get. He get what he get. If he's running around here giving any old chick all his time, all his money, he's solving all her problems, he doing this, he doing that, do all the best he can, and she ain't proved nothing as it pertains to what kind of woman she is or what type of wife she is, or whether or not she can even be in that position in the first place. Men also say not only do they call him a simp, they also say he get what he get from her. They don't have no sympathy for it. So if she get him for all his money or get, they be like, well, dude, I mean, you walked over there for that. Every other man could see it for what it was. We tried to tell you. We tried to warn you. Tried to tell you this chick ain't no good. Tried to tell you this chick, you know what I'm saying, is on some foolishness or whatever. And you got your nose open, nose wide enough to park 2 John Deere tractors in it for this chick here, and she ain't worth the butter go on a piece of toast. She ain't worth nothing. So men have a condition, as they should, and they demonstrated it through lower marriage rates because the conditions, first of all, of the kind and quality of women degraded over time, not to mention the various laws and rules and things of that nature that went against him in family court, divorce court, all this type of stuff. So when men saw all of that, they didn't completely stop getting married, but the marriage rate decreased because the conditions are not being met largely for the men to do what they would like to do, which is get married and start families. It's a little bit treacherous now. So the men are being more careful about that. They are being more discerning about that. Can't just go up and walk up to a woman and because she bat her eyelashes and stuff like that and then say she a good woman. You got to do more vetting and more, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. We know how culture turned around. So the men were like, on a collective basis, we're not marrying these women, and we're not marrying them under the legal conditions and things of that nature. We're not doing that. They want to be promiscuous. They want to be for the streets. Fine. We'll play it that way. Similarly, women who are submissive, I'm talking about the lionesses because hyenas do not submit. Hyenas play along for a little bit. Lionesses submit. That submission is conditional because she cannot just be listening to everything everybody say. When I want to go back to the clip that started this. Give me 2 seconds. I want to go back to this clip because I want to point out something that how she was talking. I want to point out how this lady was talking. Okay. We're gonna share the screen again. And we're gonna go back to the clip. Okay. And I'm going to just let her talk. And I'm gonna, because the last time I actually didn't address what she said. I had my own thoughts about it. But today I'm gonna address what she's saying.
Me asking, Donnie, do you feel like you're easy to be led?
By who?
In general.
You couldn't lead me. But yeah, I do feel like I'm easy to be led. I'm led every day. David leads me here in this. Everything he tells me to do, I do it. In a relationship, I'm led by my friends. I'm led by my mother. I'm led by people who I trust to lead me. I am led.
Now, let me pause that. The problem with what she's talking about is that is not submission. That's not submission. That's actually what she just got through talking about has nothing to do with lionesses and submission. Nothing. Lionesses are not led by everybody in the whole wide world. See, she's a single hyena because she just got through listening about 4-5 people and entities where she gets her so-called SOS from. That is not submission. Doing what people say is not submission. That's gullible. Just running around doing what everybody say. Because she said whoever David is, in that environment, whatever he tell her to do, she do it. But is David your man? Who is David to her? A co-worker? Who is he? Then she said, by my man. This is an imaginary man, potentially. Because I don't think that she's married. She didn't say her husband. Right? Then she said, by her friends, by her mom. This is not submission. That is not submission at all. That is a woman with no covering and no direction. So anybody can come tell her anything. That's what I heard. I didn't hear a woman talk about what submission actually was. And that was why it spent me off the last time when I just started talking about what submission actually was. That's why I talked about it that way. Because what she said was so completely off the mark. This is what women with no covering have to say. And anybody that sound like they might have a good idea or sound like maybe they might have some type of best interest for her or something that she agree with or something like that, and it's arbitrary, then she'll do it. That is not submission. That's just being, anybody can come. That's not standing for something and being able to fall for anything. Because if you can't say I'm led by my husband, then you need to be able to say I am led by God. She didn't even say that. Never went to the spiritual space. When I didn't have a husband, Allah is the leader. Allah and his Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the leader. Even with a husband, Allah and his Rasul is the leader. But I'm saying without direct masculine husband covering, without that direct covering presented in the form of a husband, my guidance came from Allah and his Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Those are the guidelines. What I'm supposed to eat, how I'm supposed to dress, places I'm supposed to go, stuff I'm supposed to talk about, people I'm supposed to talk to, places I'm supposed to avoid, that's all laid out in Islam. That's all laid out in Deen. This is why the spiritual value is so incredibly important for everybody, men and women. But since I'm talking to the women, it is extremely important, because even if you are not directly covered by a husband at this time, you have to accept the covering of your Lord. That's the first submission anyway. The first submission, not even to your husband, it's to God. This is what makes you a wife before your husband find you, because you're already understanding what a submission is by submitting to the Most High. You already getting, okay, there's stuff I can't do. There's places I can't go. It's restrictions on stuff. There are conditions. Even the Most High is conditional. Let's stop playing. I'm going to get back to the rest of the brother's comment. But even the Most High is conditional. Come on with me now. He got conditions, do he not? You can't just waltz into Jannah. You can't just waltz into heaven. There's conditions for that. You got to meet the criteria for that. You can't just roll through just because he God. And he gave you a rule book, did he not? He told you you got to pray and you can only eat this thing. You got to stay away from that thing. And then you got to do this kind of thing. And then you got to do right by this one. And then you got to conduct your business like this. And then you can't do that. And it's conditions to that. And if you do not meet those conditions and you die in a state of having not met those criteria, you have not worshiped correctly, you have not believed correctly, you have not performed correctly, you have disobeyed everything, there's a consequence for that. You just can't just go, hey. Folks talking about he love you unconditionally. Do he? Because that ain't in the Quran I read. It ain't the Bible I read either. It's conditions for that. He created heaven and somebody gonna go to it. He created the hellfire, somebody going to it. I just pray it ain't me and mine going to no hellfire. That's all I can do. So it's conditions for everything. So we're not gonna play it's unconditional. It's not unconditional. It's not unconditional. Because I can go places and be feminine. When I go into public, and it's men in public, it's men in the world. I'm feminine with them men. I give them basic respect, masculine respect. I don't submit to them because they don't meet the criteria. They don't meet the condition. Why would I do that? I can be feminine without my submission. The femininity is just my disposition. That's my disposition anyway. But they don't get my submission. I don't know them men. Who is them? Mm-hmm. We got to take a commercial break. And then I'm going to get the super chats. And then we're going to continue with the comment. Just because this is a conversation that absolutely continues to need to be had. So after these messages, we'll be right back because everybody needs to go to ashkicking.com and get some of the best body butter on the market, period. If you're trying to keep your skin looking, feeling, smelling its best, silky, smooth, soft, then you have to go to ashkicking.com, pick up your body butter, pick up your other personal care products. They have a line of them, and it is a superb line of personal care products, if I must say so myself. Spring is coming. I know it's doing a little bit of dipsy-do, but it is still coming. Sundress season is almost upon us. You know, listen, I know you done spent all winter making sure to get the correct clothes for spring and summer. You've been unbigging your back. If you had a big back, you've been unbigging your back. So it's time to show off that unbigged back that you got. All right. With this wonderful product. If this is going to be your first time making this purchase of Ash Kicking, then you definitely need to take advantage of the 10% discount using the promo code Crimson. And go ahead, go to ashkicking.com. The link is at the top of the chat. Click it, go make your order, and I'm guaranteeing you are not going to be disappointed at all. I don't know how many likes I owe, but I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta right? Let's see. Thank you, Mogul, for the contribution. I appreciate you. Thank you, Wesley. Said hyenas don't understand boundaries, let alone healthy boundaries. Anyway, finally caught another live. Peace and blessings from Houston. Thank you so much, Wesley. I appreciate. Thank you so very much, Mark, for your contribution. And thank you, sweetheart FBI, for your contribution as well. I appreciate you. We're going to continue on with the rest of the comment so that we can take a look, right? Okay, so to complete the thought, he said, thus, they only submit to the extent that allows them to still have or maintain passive control. It's always conditional, and any situation that takes away their ability to have passive control or their autonomy, they won't submit. In short, they never want a self-driving car with no manual option. For lack of a politically correct example, women's submission is similar to the dynamic of sadomasochistic bedroom play, where a woman may like harsh physical intercourse but still wants control of it, so she creates a safe word. She will submit and consent to all sorts of things being done to her until she feels she can't take it and uses her safe word to opt out. Women's submission is like this in that it always has an out eject option. The philosophical quandary question here is that if one always has control of a situation dynamic, are they really following or in full submission? To me, it all seems circumstantial and controlled by the woman, even when she is in submission. Plus, the existence of an option to opt out after having already submitted makes it seem disposable and non-committal, like modern marriages with a divorce option, as opposed to old-fashioned till death do us part marriages in which people stood by their choices and vows. Everything is conditional. The problem that, or the thing that I want to address in the comment is it is not arbitrary. Just because something might be conditional doesn't mean it's arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. So I'm married to my husband. I don't arbitrarily submit or not submit. It's not arbitrary. That's why the boundaries are there. That's why the parameters are there, because that's the boundary. That's the boundary. It's not a simple, oh, I don't like what you said, so therefore I'm not going to submit to you today. No, I've never said that. I've never said that. I've never advocated it. I've never said that that's what it should be or even what it is. As a matter of fact, I've said the opposite. told the ladies that their husbands are human beings. And he may make plans and he may have a way in which he's trying to go about things. Most of the time, it's probably going to work out. Sometimes there may be setbacks, or there may be some things that didn't quite work out the way in which he planned them to. That is not a reason, nor is it an excuse to now just simply not trust your husband anymore and not submit to him anymore. I actually said that. Your husband is a human being. He's not going to make perfect plans and perfect decisions all the time. This is what it is. That doesn't mean don't trust him anymore. But you can never trust him again because he made a plan and it didn't quite pan out the way that he thought that it would, or things of that nature. It's not arbitrary. Just because he told you that we're going to do this, and you might not necessarily like that or even truly understand the complete outcome that he's trying to go for, that is not a reason to not submit. That's not, because that would not be submission. That's playing in somebody's face is what that is. But submission has to be something that you think about. And this is why I opened the show with what I did. When I talk about how to submit, I'm talking to the women, and I'm telling them that their submission cannot just happen here. It has to happen up here. You submit to your husband in the same manner and with the same reasoning that you submit to the Most High. It's not a feeling. Or it can't only be a feeling. You can't just, oh, I feel submissive today, so I will be submissive today. Because what about the day you don't feel submissive? What about that day? What about the day that your emotions is not on there and you don't feel like that and you don't want to listen? What about that day? Then what happens? True submission is something you think of, not just something you feel, because this is the emotion, this is the duty and the obligation. You have to think about the submission and consciously choose it. That's what makes it submission versus coercion or force. This is the same way that you submit to the Most High. It's a thought. You consciously do what the Most High tell you to do. You consciously go against your own nafs, your own desires, in order to do what the Most High told you to do. It is up here. It's the obligation here, not here, because every day you don't want to obey the Most High. But the way in which you get past that, the way in which you get around that is the duty, and that's here. The obligation is here, not here. This, do too much wavering. This won't. That's what I'm telling women. It can't just be an emotional thing that you do. Emotions don't have logic. Emotions don't have thought to them. They just are. Emotions just are. They're only true because they actually exist, but they don't necessarily supposed to dictate any decision or outcome. The obligation is conscious. I consciously choose to submit to my husband. That is a conscious choice. I actually think about it. The reason why this is so important for women is because we are naturally chaotic. And we will naturally rebel against the order because that's just who we are. That is how the Most High made us. He made us that way. This is why you'll never hear me talk crap about Hawa or Eve, alayhi salam. May Allah be pleased with her. Because he created her exactly how she needed to be. The mother of all other women and human beings. She's the mother of you. Because Allah actually don't have nothing bad to say about her in Quran. That's why I don't have nothing bad to say about her. He doesn't curse her. He don't curse Adam either. The only one truly got cursed in that story was Shaitan. They had to have consequences for the action. But that's another story because in Islam, we don't have original sin. So for us, there's no concept of original sin. There's no concept of Eve did something that affects the rest of human beings up until today. We don't have that concept. The Most High created women the exact way he needed them to be created. The challenge of the woman is her challenge. It is her emotional state. That's the challenge of women. The challenge of women is our fluctuating emotional state. He gave us like 90% emotion and like 10% reason and logic to balance that out. That's our fight as females. That's the fight. He gave us a naturally chaotic, he gave us a chaotic nature. That's what he did. You have to ask Allah about that if you don't like that. So the challenge of women is that we are naturally the way Allah made us. But the challenge is the discipline up here, not here. This is why all emotions is at. This is what tempers it. We have to have that obedience to the Most High first. That trains us how to keep that emotional and that chaos under check. It's constant. Men do not go through this. They don't. It's not their nature. I'm talking to you, women. This is our nature. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying this is what it is. Okay? This is the bare-faced truth. It's a constant every single day, every moment of every day is spent on some level checking the chaos, check the chaos, check it again and check it again and check it again. It's all day. It's all day, every day. That's why the Most High rewards submissive women so well. That's why the reward is so great for it. That's why the reward is so great for it, because we are being asked to check our nature all the time, all the time. And the only way that we successfully do that is that we can't fight the nature. We have to embrace what it is and accept the tools that we were given to actually harness it and make it work for us, not against us. That's why order is needed. First, the order of the Most High. That's the first order. And then the order of your husband. That's the second order. We need layers of order to help us. We cannot do it on our own. The plight of the modern woman shows us this. It can't be done without those tools. It's impossible. The only way in which we can have contentment and peace as women is we have to submit to the order of the Most High first, find a husband, get a husband, submit to his order, and live your life like that. It makes it so much easier to handle them chaotic moments where it's just going to bubble up. It's nothing we can do about it. The only thing, we can't stop it from coming up, but we can check it. We can check it. I hope that this is understood. Our battle is not the same battle as the men's battle. Men have their own battle within their nature. Women have our own. I need y'all to understand it. The order, the God, man, woman, child ordering is there to protect us. It is there to assist us, not bog us down. That is a trick of the shaitan. That is shaitan's trick. Feminism is shaitan's trick. You know why? Because he doesn't like being underneath Adam. He doesn't like that. His whole problem, if you read the Quran, his whole issue, the reason why he's shaitan today is because Allah created him in an inferior position than he created Adam. Adam is superior. In his existence, he's superior in his nature. Okay? In his nature, he's superior. Shaitan does not like that, and he rebelled because of it. He doesn't like the idea that just his existence is an inferior position. So he induces women with the same thought. That's what feminism is. He induces women with the same thought because women in our existence, we are inferior to Adam. The part of the trick that Shaitan doesn't say is that he's also inferior to women because we're human beings. And the human being is superior to him. Allah created the human being, male and female, superior to Shaitan. And he doesn't like it. So this is why he consistently tries to appeal to females, because he's like, well, we kind of in the same position. We have to be inferior to him. The part that Shaitan doesn't tell women is that he hates her just as much as he hates Adam. He hates her too. She's a human being. She's made out of the same stuff Adam is made out of. And we know that because Allah drew her from him. Same material. It's the same material. Shaitan hate all human beings, not just males. He hate the females too. But he likes to come to women because he likes to appeal to the whole superior, inferior situation. This is why it's so easy for him to delude women into saying, oh, submission is a bad thing. Submission is, oh, why should you submit? This is horrible. This is slavery. This is, all these horrible, and he attaches all these negative connotations to the concept of submission, when actually the Most High has elevated that position. He has not lowered it. He elevated. Submission is an elevation, not a lowering, because he requires Adam to submit. He requires Adam to submit to him. A man who is submitted to the Most High is better than a man who isn't. So submission in this instance is something that elevates the human being. It does not lower them. I need the women, especially the spiritual women, to understand it. Understand our actual position, and not only as physical beings, but as spiritual ones too. And who we actually are as women. Why is the reward of submission to the Most High and submission to your husband so great? Think about it. Why do Allah reward us with paradise simply for being good wives and obedient to our husbands? Paradise is the actual reward for that. It's one hadith that I'll leave you with that said English interpretation. It said that a woman that dies while her husband is pleased with her, and she has worshipped Allah and things of that nature, and she dies and her husband is pleased with her, can enter any of the gates of paradise that she chooses with no reckoning. She won't have to give an account of her life. She can just go. Why is the reward so great? Allah actually made it easier for women to get into paradise. But the battle is so consistent that women, I can't do this, I can't do this. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's just consistent. It's just consistent. That's all. Just consistency. Once you get adept to checking your chaos, it becomes less of a problem. It becomes less of an issue. It becomes second nature to you. No, I know how to check that. I know how to check the intrusive thought and all that kind of stuff. This is why I'm saying submission happens here better than it happens here, because the obligation will keep you doing what you're supposed to do, even when you emotionally are not there in that space. Practice make better. Do not let Shaitan deceive you about it being too difficult to do. It's really not. It's really not. It's just conscious. It's just conscious. You have to keep it in your mind. So I needed to say that. And I know I went off into the spiritual realm, but we have to, sometimes I have to do that. I have to do that because the women have to understand where we draw the strength from. The well is your Lord. That's where you keep drawing, you keep drawing, you keep drawing from that well because that well don't get empty. We get tired. The Most High don't get tired. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether you Muslim or whether you're Hebrew Israelite or whether you're a Christian woman. Just please understand that the well that you're drawing from is spiritual. You have to go to your Lord with this. This is where it all comes from. And I promise you, doing it that way actually will make our nature work for us and work for our families. It's not bad. We just have to use the tool for what it's for. I hope this helps somebody. Anyways. Thank you, Aaron said, thank you for all your valuable insight. It is very much appreciated. And I appreciate your contribution as well, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you so much, Original Man said Shahrazad Ali was ridiculed 30 years ago. They danced on Chaos Grave and still did not get the results they wanted. Results, MGTOW, Passport Bros, satirical, soft guy era, drizzle. They really having a fit over the soft guys. That level of trolling is so funny. And like people are actually triggered. And it's like, y'all didn't get this response when the chicks was doing it. It sound weird, don't it? It's weird, ain't it? Anyway, thank you so much, Original Man. Thank you again. Said Simone Biles was raised by traditional grandparents in order to secure a husband. Unfortunately, hyenas follow Shira 7 and narcissistic women. Thank you, Red Sigma said big facts. Thank you so much. And once again, Original Man, thank you. Said 4B moving plus Shira equals soft guy era equals MGTOW, Manosphere, Passport Bros. Western modern women are doomed. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody's contributions. I appreciate the brother leaving the comment so that we could just address, because I thought it needed an address. So in any case, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. Oh, don't forget, somebody put the link to joining the channel in the chat for me, please. If you want to join the channel as a member, then definitely hit the link there are 2 levels. The $5 level is just the basic support of the channel. The $10 level is where you get the exclusive membership content. I got a surprise for y'all coming up this week for the membership, so you definitely want to be available for that. So once again, I'm gonna get on out of here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye, Crimsonites.